Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Episode number 41, Extend the Drive, Best Ball Live, where best ball is king. Episode 41. Got 41 episodes in. Hall of Fame game tonight. Obviously, it's a lot of excitement in the NFL streets. But hey, have a great guest that's going to join me. He's a sharp dude. Ever since I've started following him, seeing his work, I've just been kind of blown away by everything that he's fully trains his thought. He gives the full detail, the explanation. Just wrote an excellent piece that I think we're going to talk about. But yeah, he's part of Fantasy Points. He probably spends more time in the fantasy data suite than probably he spends at home. It seems like the dude's just always doing it. But anyway, Kyle from Fantasy Points, what's going on, man?
Yeah, I appreciate the intro, Sean. Thank you for having me on. I mean, you're pretty spot on. I do spend an absurd amount of time in the data suite.
I figured so.
Yeah, I mean, it took me over a year even to get used to it and master it. And when I say master, that's a term I use very loosely. But yeah, no, it's been great, and like you as well, I'm pretty excited for the Hall of Fame game. Nothing like a Carson Beck, Kenny Pickett on Thursday night. Ask for a QB battle if we tried. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Two glove Kenny, yeah, man. It should be fun. Obviously, I made that post this morning. It's like if you're gonna say anything bad, about the game, just leave it to yourself. Like we've been waiting on this for months. Like let us have our time.
I'll take anything I can get at this point.
Let us have our time. Let us enjoy it. Before we get into any of the kind of work you've done, Kyle, I mean, obviously I can tell you're a ball head, man. You've been in the weeds for a long time, it sounds like. So where did you kind of start at? I guess I saw you kind of got your start in Reddit. You kind of started and posted in Reddit and kind of moved from there. So why don't you just give us kind of a brief overview of how you came up into the fantasy streets?
Yeah, I'd like to think I'm still relatively fresh in the fantasy streets. I mean, I started about a year and a half ago, and like you said, it was on Reddit. And ironically enough, the entire reason why I even got into data analysis and kind of doing the content on the side is I lost my home league in horrific fashion, and I vowed to never lose again. And I thought, maybe if I just dive deeper into the data, I'll never lose that horribly again. Hasn't exactly worked out that way, but yeah, I started posting on Reddit. People, I like the responses I got. I really like the interactions more than anything with the community. People asking questions, giving their feedback, just kind of going back and forth and talking ball. There's honestly nothing better. And just started, writing these posts on Reddit, maxing out the word count. Didn't think anybody would read them, to be completely honest. And I guess some people are, as addicted to fantasy football as I am. Ryan Heath from Fantasy Points sent me a message on Reddit. And I still remember that day. I remember the exact post. I remember his comment. I remember the day that he sent me the message asking, hey, would you like to come write for us? And then he's basically been mentoring me for the last maybe 14 to 15 months. And
really nice.
Yeah. Now I'm just, working for the Fantasy Points team, doing anything I can, obviously posting on Twitter quite a bit, trying to grow the following over there.
Absolutely.
And then, recently got into best ball, and I'm now addicted to that. So that's just fantastic.
Welcome to the degeneracy that we call the best ball streets. Yeah, and that was kind of where I think I picked up on some of your posts. I saw it starting to get more best ball focused, and I was like, all right, he's one of us. I was like, okay. And of course, I was agreeing with a lot of what you were saying. Yeah. I'm like, okay, man, me and you we're on lockstep on like a lot of things. I was like, this guy's sharp. So, but yeah, man, that's awesome. Ryan, really sharp dude too over there. The whole squad. I mean, everybody there is sharp guys. But yeah, so let's do a BBM. You up for that? You want to do that? Let's. While we jump into a BBM, Jalapeno Jenkins from the chat. What's going on, my guy? Appreciate you. Glad you're here. We're going to jump in a 20-second BBM. So you've done like what, 600 plus drafts now?
I was actually just checking my portfolio. I'm almost at 1,000.
You're at 1,000 now?
Yeah, I'm almost at 1,000. I think I'm like
drafting in your sleep, man, or what?
Yeah, no. I when I said I was addicted, I really was not joking. I mean, I started as soon as they opened up, and I mean, it's got to the point where like I'll go on a run outside and I'll be drafting a best ball on my phone. And I'm like, as long as I'm working out. This isn't something degenerate, is it? But it's gotten to the point where I've had to cool off the last couple weeks, and I haven't done that many BBMs. That one it scares me a little bit. I kind of like just drafting,
trying to pick your better contests at the better small fields. Like that's where I got to. Like of course I've been playing for multiple years too, but I'm max BBM in like I think my third or second year on Underdog, and just did not have a very good turnout. And ever since then, I was like, you know what? Kind of like you, I was like, man, I just want to try to get in as much volume with like the smaller contests, try to get 50 to 75 in the puppies, just try to get a lot of shots on goal and just try to, and I had my best year that I did that next year, which was the year before last. Last year I had a pretty crap year, but yeah, I won a couple grand in that year that I started doing that, and that's kind of the strategy that I've kind of been following. But yeah, like, do you do any slows, or are you just all fast? I mean,
I tried. I think it was a pre-draft. It was like one of the last contests before the pre-draft period ended, and I did like 50 slows at once, and I after a couple weeks, I wanted to blow my brains out. I was like, I'm never doing this again. Like,
I can't do
every
it.
time I got a notification on my phone, it was giving me anxiety, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna stick to fast for the rest of the off season.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man. I'm just, and that's probably why I can't get as much volume last year I wanted to get a ton of volume. I was like, oh man, I think I got roughly around 600 drafts, and that was all fast. I mean, from pre-draft on, and I felt like I was drafting whenever I didn't want to be drafting, and I still barely got to 600. So getting to 1,000 is pretty impressive for one. But do you ever feel like you're getting redundant when your builds? Like you're like, man, I feel like I've clicked the same. You get to that, 14th, 15th round, and you're like, I'm clicking the same guys over and over again. I feel like I got that way, and that's kind of why I scaled back this year and was like, you know what? I'm going to draft when I want, when I feel like drafting, and I'm going to draft intentionally. So, do you feel like that? Like, explain.
I actually, now that I think about it, I think you had a tweet about that a couple months ago, where you talked about like when you're drafting, doing intentionally, not just this kind of like auto drive going through the motion. And there have been times like, where I have a week of heavy drafting where I'm like, if I look at the screen again, like I'm going to throw it. I couldn't take it anymore. And I even started thinking, I was like, I feel like I've drafted the exact same team in different contests at this point, which, maybe it'll work out for me.
I'm afraid. Yeah, I'm really afraid that I had done that.
I wouldn't be surprised. And then I've kind of cooled off a bit after the Ricky Pearsall news. That was devastating for my portfolio. Definitely a learning lesson in terms of portfolio management, not going all in on an injury-prone player that you're excited about. But that was brutal.
So this is your first year playing best ball. I mean, I'm guessing you played like your regular redraft, or are you a guy or anything like that?
I think like the last 2 years I did a couple, what are they called? Like sit and goes, where it's not even like a contest. It's just the 14-week thing. Gotcha. I didn't even know about really the contest until late last year. I think I did like 5 BBMs and that was it. And I made it through in one of them. And then this offseason, as soon as the season ended, I'm like, I need drafts. I need football. So
that's the best thing about it.
Yeah. It looks like we got the 10th pick, which is honestly one of my favorite.
And Jalapeno's in here with us too. So I was going to say, are you more of a back half drafter, or are you
I just, the running back value is so great there. I mean, you can do a lot of different things with the two guys. You want to pick at 10, and then obviously on the turn in the second round. And that's another thing too. The amount of times I've stacked like Hampton and Cook or Hampton and Genty, I'm like, I gotta start mixing up a little bit. Even if I don't like the guys as much, like I need to start, clicking on
diversify. And that's what I was going to ask next, because I feel like I'm going to be light on more than probably 2 or 3 of these guys in this whole range. Like, because I'm not just huge on HN, which I think that's kind of a consensus at this point. Like, no, there's a few that still love him. Obviously, he's a great player. Obviously hate everything around him. But like him, Chase Brown, I'm not getting to a ton. And Barkley, I'm not getting to a ton. But are there any guys in that range which let's go ahead and make this pick. What are you thinking right here, Kyle?
It's kind of tough. I mean, I feel like you got to take JT if he falls all the way to 10. And he's a guy that honestly I don't think I've clicked on a lot in terms of.
I haven't either since he got the move. That he's been rising up to ADP, and I haven't either, but like getting him at 10 just feels like
why not take that value there if it's gonna be sitting.
But back to that question, Kyle, like is there any guys in this range here, which are you on, I know you said Genty, I'm sure you're on CMC. Are you on CMC or not?
I am on CMC. I still sometimes I'll take him over JSN, to be completely honest, like depending on what build I want to go.
I'm there too. Yeah, I'm there too.
These guys in this range, Barkley's I'm a little bit lower on. I want to start taking just a tiny bit more of him. I remember when I started looking up the playoff schedules too, I think he has a pretty tough.
It's very tough.
Yeah.
That's one big drawback for me.
Yeah. Henry, I'll always take Henry if he's sitting there, but HN and Chase Brown, I'm obviously higher on Chase Brown now. Like right here, it's like I look at this and I would say, Barkley, Hampton, or Walker, you can't go wrong with any of those 3. It just
Who do you like here?
I would say I kind of want to get a little bit more Walker exposure. I feel like Walker's paired with JT. You have, hopefully 2 bell cows, dominant goal line role. Receiving upside will be with Walker.
And I like that his first year is going to be with Bieniemy, other than, obviously they've had Matt Nagy and Eric being, a running back himself. Like, I feel like that he's going to absolutely utilize him in all the ways he should be. He didn't get that in Seattle, so I totally agree, and I'm definitely in on Kenneth. But yeah, I mean, you can't really go wrong with any of those guys in that range. It's really hard to just be like, okay, well, any 2 of these guys in this back half should potentially get you, a lot of points during the season.
I think that's what the portfolio aspect of it. It's important because you kind of want to have at least maybe 8 to 10% of each of them, and then the guys that you really like, maybe 15 to 18, like the 2 or 3 that you're very high on. And that's kind of the thing where I've realized when you do a lot of drafts, you really got to be cognizant of how much exposure do I actually have to these guys, and where am I overdrafting, and could that hurt me, down the line?
Do you? And that's another question. Are you using any overlays or any kind of portfolio trackers or anything of that nature to kind of help?
I don't use any overlays. I don't know. I kind of like to keep things simple, which I don't either. Now that I'm thinking about it, but I think it's called fantasy.vip. I cannot remember the name of the guy on X. It's honestly fantastic. That's kind of what I've been using just to monitor, how many drafts I've done, how much money I've burned already, and more what my exposures look like.
Right. No, that's I'm the same way. I know Fantasy Life has a free one that I've used in the past, but I'm like you. I pay attention to my exposures, just from looking at the exposure pages. But I haven't used the overlay since I played. I haven't used any draft assistants. I haven't used any of that. But yeah, I'm like you. I just kind of keep watch over it. I feel like I'm getting too hefty on a guy, I'm like, okay, I'll scale back a little bit. Razors in the chat. Good to see you, man. Fast Puppy winner from 2025. But yeah, we are about to be back up on the clock.
I drafted so much. I know it's going to be T. Higgins or Lad McConkey here.
Yep.
I mean, also, I feel like Josh Allen's falling so much. So it's like with this.
I've taken some lately, but
I've been starting to take Josh Allen a little bit more. Just with how drafts have been going and how much QBs are falling lately, I feel like T. Higgins is my boy here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm totally fine. I'm an LSU guy, so.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah, LSU fan. I was born in Louisiana, so I'm always for the LSU boys. You won't ever have an issue out of that from me. So we are going to be coming back up again here at 39. So what are you typically doing here, Kyle?
Take
the fall on Josh if he falls.
If Josh Allen falls, I think we should just do that. Why not? We can build.
Jalapeno is probably sitting here listening to us. So.
Yeah. A lot of the time earlier in the offseason, I was taking Josh Jacobs here, because I like the 3 RB. But I've realized that wide receivers kind of dry up a little bit more. I say take Josh Allen here. Let's have fun with it. See if we can build something.
I mean, that's what we're doing here, right?
Pick 39.
It's Hall of Fame night. We got football on the TV. Let's have a little fun in the draft.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's check out the board a little bit. Jalapeno started a little Justin Jefferson, Derrick Henry, Kyron, and then T-Mac. And then I don't think I have anybody else in here that I know. I'm trying to see if anybody else is kind of getting a little weird. Nobody really is getting out of place right now. So
yeah, every couple of drafts you get someone doing something a little crazy, and it kind of skews how you draft, and you can't really predict what they're going to do.
Yeah.
It's always fun.
You got to draft with the flow of the draft. You got to let the draft come to you. That's what I always say too. You can't just go in with a plan. You know that's going to be blown up within the first 5 rounds for the most part.
Yeah,
when you kind of start picking your way through.
Yeah.
Is there anybody in the first 5 rounds that you're just completely out on? Let me ask that. I don't know if you know offhand. I don't want to put you on the spot, but
no, you can ask any. I mean, at this point, I've done so many drafts. I'm pretty out on Rashee Rice now at ADP. The fact. I mean, the toughest thing for me too is all of my redraft, dynasty, guillotine, whatever it is PPR, underdogs, half PPR. So I have to kind of flip the switch a little bit there.
Yeah.
Rice. I've tweeted about it a little bit recently. Just my concern with like you said, new OC. Who knows if he's going to get all those easy design plays he's been getting the last couple of years.
Yeah.
That clip of him running, whether that was intentionally, he was going like 60% speed, I don't entirely know.
Yeah.
With Walker in town, like I don't think that Rice is going to get as many touches in the 10-yard line as he got last year, especially.
Yep.
I've kind of cooled off on him a little bit. I drafted him a little highly when he fell to like, what was it, the 50s?
Right. Yeah.
Drama came, and now I'm just like, I'm kind of completely out of Rice in the first. Like,
yeah, he did get expensive really quick again, and I mean, with all accounts, I mean, yeah, he's right, like you said, like he doesn't look absolutely great. Who you liking here? You liking any of these wide receivers? You're a Judkins guy, Price?
I do like Judkins. I feel like the wide receivers dry up a little bit after pick 80, so I'd say probably Roma Dunze here.
Okay.
I like the weekly upside that he offers.
I'm on all the Bears, so
yeah.
I mean,
can't go wrong.
No, like that offense in year 2 for Ben Johnson should just be absolutely firing on all cylinders. I've got a lot of all of them. I mean, Loveland, Rome, Luther, of course, I've been trying to get it, but he never is there hardly. He never falls.
Yeah, he never.
I got more Loveland probably than anything, but I've got both of the running backs quite a bit.
I feel that way about the Jaguars too. It's like, every draft I kind of come away about with one of those guys. Like at this point, I don't even care which one it is. I feel like, when you want to invest in those like top 5 offenses, and, I feel like the Bears and the Jaguars, maybe I toss the 49ers in there as well. Outside of CMC, have some great value in terms of like lower ADP guys that can really outperform.
Right. So who are you liking here? You liking anybody in this range?
It's one of the hardest. This is I'd either go Carnell Tate or Marvin Harrison. Let's go with Tate. I feel like I do not have a whole lot of Tate. Maybe him and Cam Ward can connect.
I am a Tate guy. Like I just think he's going to step right in and become the one over there in Tennessee. And even if the offense is even halfway decent, like he's going to exceed expectations. I feel like. And Marv, like we just don't know the quarterback situation. Could Brissett be playing in the weeks that matter? Like I just can't get to Marv, and I've stopped taking a lot of Michael Wilson because I'm just terrified of who's going to be. Is it Carson Beck? Is it somebody that's not even on the roster? Like I don't think Brissett plays the whole year, so I'm kind of just like the Arizona guys, other than like Tyler Algier in the very late rounds. I'm not getting to a ton unless like Trey McBride's falling. I don't know how you feel about the Cardinals, but Goofy Chicken, good to see you, brother. Appreciate you popping in.
I'm probably a little overexposed to Cardinals players, to be completely honest. I've been trying to convince people, shouting from the rooftops, that maybe they're not going to be as bad offensively as people think. But I do agree with you, and I think there's a good chance that Brissett is benched somewhere in those first 12 games. The bye week.
Yeah.
You look at their schedule, and you're like, there's no way they're winning more than like 2 or 3 games in the first 3 months of football. So it's like, that's why I'm so excited about tonight. Let's see what Carson Beck can do. We're probably going to see a starter at some point.
And I will say, like, I have been taking some Carson Beck with the last pick just because if I do get any exposure to if I get a falling Michael Wilson or I've gotten a lot of falling Trey McBrides lately. Like, nobody wants to take him right now, it seems like. And if I do that, like which I did take a lot of Brissett early on because I felt like he was going to sign back, and which he hasn't really rose any, since he signed, but kind of a little bit. But, like, still, it's like there's always that, a question, how many games is he going to play? So now I'm kind of flipped the script and started taking, more Carson Beck in that last spot just to see if he – because,
he's going to play when it matters.
It's true. Exactly. He's not going to – he should be the one starting when it matters. So –
this upcoming range is just it's the hardest range for me in the entire draft. Like I find myself reaching somewhat often on players just because I don't love everyone here. Honestly, it's like crazy, but like I started taking a little bit of Chuba here. I've been a big Brooks guy at some point, but I mean, I still think that the Panthers are going to be extremely run heavy. They have a great O-line, especially when it comes to run blocking. He's going to get goal line carries. No, this is tough. I think I'm actually going to pivot. I do like Chuba here. I think I'm going to go with Josh Downs.
Okay.
Just because I know after our next pick, the wide receivers get pretty scarce.
Really good. Yeah, I mean, once you get like Michael Wilson, that's the biggest teardrop. You get to the Pittman and the Worthy and the guys that you really like. I am in on Golden. I will say that I am in on these two guys. I am on a Wandell, but like this range right here, those 3 guys, I'm like. I hate when I get to that spot. I'm like, I don't want any of those guys.
It's every draft. I look at it the same way, and I'm like, I don't know why I just can't get myself to take. I should probably start taking RJ Harvey and Rico Dowdle just a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where I get like that same like mindset where I'm taking same guys over and over and over. But yeah, I think
I'm really worried about that the Pitt situation too. Like, I just think they're going to cannibalize each other. Like, I mean, I saw what obviously with Arthur Smith, Kenny Gainwell was. I guess you're going to want to go ahead and get Chuba here then, since he fell to us, right?
Yeah, why not? I'm kind of happy that we have 4.
I'm a Chuba guy. I mean, I'm like you. Like, I think there's a chance. There is a world where he gets back to that 2024 season whenever he had a really good year and got the contract. And last year he dealt with a couple of calf injuries, which if anybody that's played ball, it's done any kind of research, like calf injuries are one of the worst to come back from. Like that, like PCLs. Yeah, for a running back especially. Like that's one of the worst injuries to come back from. So yeah, like I think a lot of people are just writing him off because yes, Rico took over the job. He had a couple of really good games against some really bad defenses, but I think Chuba's I think there's a world where he stays in the lead like all year long, and maybe Brooks is the guy that plays the Rico role where he gets to play, some thirds down, gets a series or two. Obviously, I do think he'll play more. But I think that it could potentially start out Chuba and end with Chuba, to be flat out honest.
I mean, it's even crazy. If you look at the board right now, the Jonathan Brooks went 1 pick after Chuba, which, I mean, I remember at the beginning of the offseason, Jonathan Brooks was like in the 180 ADP range, and now it's like he's going 1 pick after Chuba. So it's like,
right.
I'm a big Jonathan Brooks guy.
He's blown up the board, man.
But I can't buy that price right now.
That's a Super Bowl spread you're putting on. Yes, sir, man. Yeah, just took it off right before me and Kyle hopped on here. It looked really good. I was hungry, but I was like, all right, I'll wait a little bit, get a couple of these road sodies in me while we do this draft and chat it up. But yeah, love the Chuba hate out there. I agree, man. I know Razor, he's been on Chuba with me too. But yeah, Chuba he gets a bad rap, man. He actually towards the end of last season was starting to get his snap percentage back up to being in the 60% range, where because Rico wasn't efficient and wasn't able to do anything. So, but like you said, and that was a point somebody had asked about today. Is like, what's the upside case for Chuba with their O-line right now? They do have a couple guys that are hurt.
They're damn good, yeah, and they got great depth. I mean, they're going to be a run-heavy team. Like I genuinely think
Canales loves running the football. Like ever since he's entered the league, it's been like after his first year, it's like you want to have his running backs like that. He just runs the football a ton. I'm gonna assume you already, which I got Ricky Pearsall sitting here. I haven't redone my ranks in a minute, which is probably a bad idea. I need to redo that and take him out. But
yeah, this is a tough spot too because in my head I'm like I kind of want to wait on a tight end until Dalton Kincaid is sitting there so we can get some sort of stack with Josh Allen. Honestly,
Shakir's there too.
Yeah, I mean I think we should do a reach on a guy that we both agree on here, which would be Romeo Doubs.
Okay. Have you seen anything about his injury right now?
I was looking through your training camp report, and I saw that it was like 2 days of –
he's missed 2 straight days.
No indication of what exactly is going on, which is interesting when there's nonstop news about every little thing that happens.
Yeah, which is just odd. Like, I haven't seen any reports. Like, I didn't even see anything from yesterday, from like his first day of the miss. I didn't even see anything about that. And then they said, yeah, he missed again today. And I was like, wait, what? What happened? Where'd this come from? I had not seen that yet.
Hopefully it's not injury related. I feel like if it was, they would have said something, giving you some sort of indication, or some beat reporter would have seen something. So, and I just
kind of like the Kyle Mononga stuff. Like,
we
didn't get any reports on what was going on with him for the first couple of days either. It's like, what are these teams doing here? But we are back up here. Wide receivers look great. Not sure who you're liking here.
It's pretty tough. I'd say maybe we just go with Jacoby Myers, get one last solid wide receiver.
I'm fine with that.
And then we come back, hit tight end, and then we can kind of maybe get like a Keaton Mitchell, Tank Bigsby later in the draft.
Guy.
Yeah, just QB and kind of go with whatever. When you have Josh Allen, it's like you're kind of just looking for – I mean, you could – go for like the Malik Willis, Josh Allen combo, which is always fun. Or you just
I'm pretty sure I've got that exact combo a couple times because I love Malik. Obviously he's upside with the rushing and everything. But if I need looking for that one other quarterback, Malik Willis is that guy. I totally agree.
I'm excited to see what the Dolphins. I mean, that's like one of the teams where I've kind of obviously hated on them just because the possibility they're a bottom 3 offense. But I'm a Green Bay fan, so I've obviously watched Malik Willis pretty close to the last 2 years, and every time he came in, like I was actually blown away. And I know people
look good,
better than Jordan Love, but I'm like, he genuinely looked solid as both a passer and a rusher in the way he led the offense. So I hope it works out for him. I genuinely do.
Yeah, I think he's better than what the looks that he got. Like you said, like when he did come in, he played really well. I'm like you, which I've got a ton. Like I love that Miami back sack. It's one of my favorite ones. It's too easy to get. It's like the other ones like the Tennessee or the Jets, and I would say like Miami's above.
Yeah.
That's my first go-to if I can get there especially if my team starts to get blown up, I start getting sniped on the quarterbacks I want. Like, all right, well, I guess I'm going Miami again. It's like
then you got like Malik Washington late, you got Greg Dulcich late. It's like, I mean, who knows if anyone going to clear 600 yards, but like there might be a couple weeks where you get, 12 to 15. I mean, at the end, like, why not just take a little throw on it? Someone's got to potentially emerge.
Someone's got to play. Someone's got to catch the ball. I mean, I know they're not going to score a ton of touchdowns, but somebody has to score some. I mean, I think Jalen Tolbert is a decent pick there because playing that X, playing that red zone, I think he's going to be a big body. I mean, he had 7 touchdowns in 2024 with Dallas. I mean, obviously a lot better offense and better environment, but still, like
target competition, more opportunities perhaps. So like, why not? I mean, I love the late round dart throws. You can pretty much make an argument for any of those wide receivers late, which is kind of what I like. Fun. Best balls got that going.
Right. All right. We are coming back up. Kelsey is the top of the queue. Ferg, we've missed out on.
Yeah,
looks still there. Yeah, I was gonna say, he took him with McBride too.
And someone just took. I kind of like Chris Rodriguez here or Keaton Mitchell. I'd probably say
C-Rod makes a lot of sense too because
we're kind of building something here with our running backs. We got a lot of good goal line backs. We love
we get sniped right there.
All right, looks like it's Keaton Mitchell then. Never mind. I like Keaton Mitchell.
We like Keaton. We were talking about Keaton already.
No, I pretty much alternate between those two whenever I need a running back in this range, and I'm happy with either.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure C-Rod's like, which I have a lot of Keaton too, but I'm pretty sure C-Rod's like in my top 3 exposures for post-NFL draft right now. I mean, I just think he's undervalued at that price. I think that he's going to get the goal line work. I do think he's going to score. There's no telling. He could score 8 to 10 touchdowns. Yeah, I can see him easily. I can see him easily with the floor of like 8 touchdowns. And like you said, like 12 could be a real round good number there. But,
Jaguars are going to have probably a top 5 offense. They're going to get to the goal line a lot.
Again,
like that.
Absolutely.
I think we got a tight end here.
I was going to say, there's a couple good tight ends I usually pluck from this range too.
Quite a bit. I think, without A.J. Brown there, he's going to be one of the better red zone targets for the Eagles. I'm a big Goddard guy at value here.
Yep. And that would, guys are dealing with hamstring injuries, Mekhi Lemon, and Devonta Smith, C-Rod. Yeah, I figured you were in on C-Rod too, Ray. But, that's what which I like Chig too. Now that Debo's there, kind of makes me veer a little. Not just a ton. Like they still lack in the receiving options as well. But what's your outlook on Jake Ferguson? Man?
I did want to say something about Jake Ferguson. I had this thought the other day. I have like this really bad nagging thought.
How low you get, like how far back he still
goes. Him 10 times altogether, and I have this like nagging feeling that he is going to score like 2 or 3 touchdowns in one of those week 15.
And then where you need it, like Kyle Pitts last year in week 15.
In my head, I'm like, who is going to be the Kyle Pitts? I really think it could be. I mean, the Cowboys matchups in the playoffs are absolutely absurd.
They are fantastic.
The top target teams, and it's like Jake Ferguson. He was a great red zone target. First 8 games last year. He was like the number one. I just think I need to get more Jake. Maybe should take.
I say that every time I pass him, I'm like, I need to get more. I need to get more Jake Ferguson, and I'm a Cowboys fan. I mean, I'm not a diehard by any means. I'm more of a college football guy, but like I'm just saying the same thing. Which I have a ton of Pickens. I have a little bit of CD, but I do typically take him on my DAC teams because nobody wants him. It seems like it's like he never goes. But I find it crazy.
Shockingly, most drafts I'm like, all right, no one wants Dak. Like totally fine. Might throw 40 touchdowns this year, 4,500 yards, but if you come on him.
I was going to say, like, you can get Flower on the way back. It's kind of like, it reminds me of the Joe Burrow situation last year when people were taking, like, just a naked Joe Burrow in, like, the 55, 60 range, and then they were pairing him up like Gesicki and Yoshi Voss, and it's like, all right. But yeah, that's kind of what it reminds me of. Like when you get like a naked Dak, you're like, well, you can still get Jake Ferguson, you can still get Flournoy. You can. There's a couple of guys you can get in the back half there, but it's not great by any means.
Yeah. Interesting.
Well, what do you think here, Kyle? We are coming up. We've got a 1-4-6-1. I'll recap the team after we make these 2 picks.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what we're gonna do at quarterback. Like typically when I get to this point, it's like I usually hit for Aaron Rodgers later, and then maybe I pick up somebody like late. We got 4 running backs, right?
Yep. I mean, our running back room is great, but I mean,
yeah,
it wouldn't hurt to tack on one more if you like.
I think Bigsby here that we might tap out at RB, and then we'll kind of pivot. I mean, we might even have to take Bryce Young. But I'm kind of stuck between either Bryce Young with our next pick or wait and maybe get Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, both have back late state, stacking options. You got Roman Wilson, Jeremy Bernard and Pat Freiermuth as a tight end. We're going to need a tight end.
Yeah.
Not as many with Bryce, but we do have Chuba, and I do think Chuba had a really nice passing role last year, and a lot of people discredit it, saying he's a zero in the pass game. And I'm like, he scored 3 touchdowns receiving last year. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. No,
Josh Jacobs had less receptions, and you're trying to tell me that Chuba's a zero? I'm like, come on, man.
No, he's definitely disrespected just a little bit too much right now.
A little bit. All right, Jalapeno, who you taking here?
What's he gonna do?
He went Hunter. He pretty needed a tight end. I mean, we could take Bryce, or what do you
I know, I'm worried. I think we should probably just take Bryce as our floor QB. We have Josh Allen. The one thing with Josh Allen too is if you look at his game log last year, there were a couple games where he had under 15 points.
Yeah,
he's obviously scored the most.
Good. Yeah, James Cook would have 2 touchdowns and 100 yards, and
yeah, I think we got a nice little floor play there. Whatever week Josh Allen.
He's kind of last, like you said, he's kind of last in that tier break right there, quarterbacks, because you get to Mendoza where we don't know if he'll. I mean, if Tom Brady has it seems like he wouldn't play all year almost. I think he will, but yeah, then you get to Rodgers, who is pretty much a kind of a floor quarterback. I mean, he did have a 31 or 32 fantasy.
Yeah, I was checking my spike week chart, and I was like, Rodgers actually had. I think pretty decent spike week performances, and I don't know. I've been watching the interviews with him. I'm a big Rodgers fan, obviously. It seems in a better mood in general this year. They added Michael Pittman, got rid of obviously Arthur Smith. I do think I think
it's the McCarthy. Yeah, the McCarthy.
Yeah, he's back with the boy McCarthy. I feel I'm kind of glad to see that we went Bryce Young there because he just went there right before the turn, so we kind of would have been, SOL.
We've been looking like Geno or.
Yeah, I feel like Geno, I could see getting benched at some point. Kind of similar to the Jacoby Brissett situation.
I totally agree. Which I think his situation is a little bit better. I do like Frank Wright. I do think he's going to be a good OC for him. I'm just totally. I don't know what to think about the whole new signings for Arizona with LaFleur in there, and I don't know how. I don't know. I have so many questions.
Their organizational decisions are always a little bit suspect, and I don't really know what. I know people keep saying showing those clips from practice and just dogging on them nonstop, which isn't good for morale. But
right,
who knows? Really, who knows?
No. And again, they could be better. I mean, Cleveland looks awful. I mean, they could be. Cleveland obviously could be easily the worst team in the league, and Arizona could be better than them, the Jets, and a few other teams, maybe even Panthers. Who knows? But
it's always fun when there's a nice race for the bottom of the league. Who's going to be the worst?
To get that weak shootout. All right, what are we thinking here? Do you like any of these tight ends, or are you wanting to?
What do we got? We got Dolchich, who I think was sitting at the top.
Yeah, Dolchich, Ferguson, Gunnar Helm.
I'd probably say Dolchich just because typically I like to go Gunnar Helm, but we already have Carnell Tate, so
yeah,
Dolchich is a nice, like you said, with Miami pass catchers, someone's got to step up. People.
And I do think he'll be a top 1 or 2 target.
Yeah. People have been praying for that Dolchich breakout for a while. Maybe they'll get it in Miami. Who knows? But it's a fine play. And with this build that we're looking at here, I mean, would you typically go 3 tight ends, 3 quarterbacks, just with the options that we have?
Not with Josh Allen. I probably wouldn't go 3, but I would go 3 tight ends. Okay. I think that's perfectly fine. I think we'd stop at quarterback for me. I don't know about you. I mean, it's your team too. I mean. If you think we should, I'm more than fine.
I think we maybe go for the crazy player and we just add on a Marshawn Lloyd. I know I said the RB room's pretty strong, but I've been liking what I've been hearing about his health.
Yeah, he's flashing, man.
Maybe this is his year that he stays healthy for more than a game.
And who knows? I mean, Jacobs has the groin injury right now. Was off the side. Said it's not going to be serious, but how do we know? And if it does re-aggravate, follows into the season somehow, Marshall Lloyd could potentially be a
tear for Jacobs last year was brutal. Watching all those games, and he was single-handedly carrying the team for a while there, and then injuries piled up. He tried to play through it. It was difficult. So I could see they were running him into the ground for sure. Touches, but I think they try to work in Lloyd just a little bit more if he can step up.
Yeah, I mean, look at what Emmanuel Wilson did last year for him.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
The offense is going to be good. I do feel that way. And any running back, it's almost like the Shanahan. Any running back you kind of slot in there, they're probably going to have better days than worse days. So, Kyle, we have a 2-6-6-2. I haven't even recapped the team just yet. So we've already went, I got 16 picks, and I haven't even said the team yet. Josh Allen, Bryce Young at quarterback, running backs, John Taylor, KW3, Chuba Hubbard, Keaton Mitchell, Tank Bigsby, Marshawn Lloyd, and then wide receiver room, we have T. Higgins, Rome Odunze, Carnell Tate, Josh Downs, Romeo Dobbs, Jacoby Myers, and currently have a tight end room of Dallas Goedert and Greg Dulcich. I mean, I'd like it. I think.
We have 3 picks left, right?
We got 2 or 3. We got 2 or 3. 2 picks.
2 picks. So I think we have to go with a wide receiver, and then obviously I think
wide receiver tight end.
Yeah. And I always like this range for wide receivers because you can pretty much make an argument for anybody over the next 30 picks, like anyone at 80 feet. Right. I like this guy. And I've been going with, if he's sitting there, I'll probably lean towards him. But Tyquan Thornton's been one of my, late round dart throws I've liked quite a bit.
Nice. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I haven't really been backsacking a lot of Bryce Young. But yeah, so who are we thinking here?
Cyrus Allen is getting a lot of hype too. Darnell Mooney, I know you're a Mooney guy.
I'm a Mooney guy. Yeah, I know. I saw your.
I'm kind of down with some Mooney here. Honestly, I feel like it's a good wide receiver to kind of cap off the room here.
Yeah, are you taking any Malachi Fields? I was swapping between the two there after I got 40% Mark Darnell, and
I got really high on Darnell too. These are some of the guys I've been trying to make a note to be just grab them at the end just for fun. You need to have maybe someone's gonna, come out as a wide receiver too for this team. I do think
somebody has to, right?
So, yeah.
So you go with Darnell here?
Yeah, I think we go for good old Darnell. Can't get enough.
Put another one on the team.
And then tight end here. I mean, you could pretty much. I've been liking either David Njoku or even Michael Mayer. I switch between them a lot of the time just because it's the Chargers. I feel like at some point Njoku's going to get a 2-touchdown game. Will he?
I agree. Yeah.
Will he be consistent? Probably not. Who knows? Charlie Kolar might get some grub. Obviously, Oronde Gadsden is just kind of a mess. But I do think there'll be a game where Njoku gets a double touchdown performance. So why not for the last pick?
Yeah, Chargers offense is going to be good enough. There should be a world where Njoku sees 4. I think you could see 4 to 6 touchdowns, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't see – he's a major red zone threat. That was what he was best at, in Cleveland. And which we know how dog crap, their offenses were. So, yeah, and I've said that plenty of times because I think I had the little board, the first little board, I had 50% in David Njoku when I maxed it. And I was because he was free. He still is, but now the funny thing about that is he's signed with a better team, a better offense, and I get it, Gasson, everybody's looking for that breakout from him, but that's the problem is Gasson sucks at blocking. He's one of the worst blockers for a tight end in the league, and that's why it seems like he's not going to be on the field very much unless it is passing downs. So I think Njoku is easily going to be in there on some of the red zone stuff. And just some of the general first down where it get some play action, and I easily feel like Njoku can definitely hit the lineup a time or two. So
we've seen Mike McDaniel do it with just bum tight ends before.
Darren Waller.
He's found a way to scheme them wide open in the red zone, and I feel like he's gonna like what he sees from Njoku in terms. Njoku was injured most of last year, especially after week 4, I think it was. So I do like the pick. Once again, it's it's our last pick. If we can get a couple of weeks out of him,
it's a third tight end, right? It's not like we're expecting a ton, and I think a lot of that gets caught up with, it's funny every time I make a post about a late round guy like that, and just how I'm like, okay, well, that people don't understand when you're playing best ball. It's like all I need is like 2 touchdowns out of the guy.
Yeah.
Even one, hit my lineup one time and he pays off what I paid for the guy. Like,
and if that happens in week 15, 16, or 17, it pays off like tenfold. So why not?
Right, like going into those picks, like these guys are not. You're not really expecting them to do much. That's the whole point. But you're just hoping, you're hoping you get that one guy that just goes off and catch, like Darren Waller, 2 touchdowns, and I forgot what week it was last year. I mean, it can easily happen.
Yeah, and usually by the time you get to the end of the season, there's so many injuries and so many changes that have happened. You never know who's moving up the depth chart, who's going to get more opportunities. So you might as well just have fun with the end of the draft, pick your guys that you like, and if you get a couple good games.
Yeah, bingo. I mean, that's the whole point, and that's what it's funny. That's really what it is. Like, you can definitely make mistakes. And sorry, Fantasy Dog, didn't mean to. I pulled up your comment earlier. You said, "Hey, Sean, number 4 like, appreciate you jumping in, appreciate you chatting here." But that was the other thing. It's like you can be wrong in the earlier rounds and still get away with it. Like, if you're totally wrong in the late rounds, you're probably not going to have any luck. Like,
yeah.
You can lose a lot more by getting the wrong guys in the later rounds where somebody else is hitting those rounds, than you do by being wrong in the earlier rounds. There are definitely some caveats to that. I mean, I'm not saying that's across the board fully, but yeah.
That's my favorite thing about best ball is it's still like kind of new. And I feel like we haven't really figured it out yet. There's so many different strategies you can go with. There's so many ways you can attack this. And every draft is different. I don't know. It's a lot of the time it's kind of like just the blind leading the blind. We're all having fun with it, and some people are going to hit on their takes. And more than not, I just love drafting, and if I win money from this, fantastic. But I love how easy it is to draft, and the fact that I've done almost 1,000. I don't know.
Exactly. I'd say you loved it. Yeah. No, that's really what kind of got me into best ball. To be flat out honest, I played a lot of DFS to start. I played a couple of redraft stuff with cousins, but that's really what kind of got me out of redraft was because we all got older, moved off, and we stopped really kind of playing. And then I was like, I started playing DraftKings, started playing daily fantasy. I got really hardcore and heavy into it, and then whenever Play Draft opened up, I started playing best ball, and that was the thing. Is like, man, I can draft like anytime I want. Like, I don't have to just be a certain time or, like a set time and a set day. It's like I can just, if I wake up in the morning and want to drink coffee and draft a lineup, I can. And so, yeah, man, once I started doing that, that's really what got me into it too. Was like, I can just draft and I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to touch it again. I don't have to look at it again if I don't want to until, it matters. And, but yeah, best ball's great, man. Love best ball. And
also what's the most dangerous thing about it is it's just
it is dangerous.
It's like, I find myself even when I'm cooking, I'm off to the side. I
taking a pic here, making see when you're on the clock.
Lock my phone away. I'm like, all right, I can't. I have to stop doing best ball drafts, everyday activities.
It does, man. I found myself there was a time whenever I was working in the office and I would go in sometimes at 5 in the morning and nobody's there, and I'd find myself I'd be drafted for the first 2 hours while I'm working. I'm like, okay, yeah. But it's that easy, man. It's so crazy. It's that accessible, and that's what makes it, like you said, so dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Kyle, we finished here. I do this with all my guests. Like I said, I've got it labeled so I know which one is which. As always, any winnings we get 50-50 straight down the line after taxes. That's
beautiful.
I made, obviously. I've heard in the past that needs to be said sometimes because I guess some people think differently. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, absolutely. But anyway, we did finish here on this BBM with a 2-6-7-3. So we had Josh Allen, Bryce Young as quarterbacks. We have a running back room of JT, Kenneth Walker, Chuba Hubbard, Keaton Mitchell, Tank Bigsby, and Marshawn Lloyd, which I think is a very strong room. Wide receiver, we have T. Higgins, Roma Dunze, Cardinal Tate, Josh Downs, Romeo Dobbs, Jacoby Myers, and Darnell Mooney. And then we had a 3 tight end room of Dallas Goedert, Greg Dulcich, and David Njoku. So I always ask every guest that comes on, got to give me a rating from 1 to 10. How do you think we did, Kyle?
I'd honestly give it a solid 7.5. I feel like And I feel like that should be weighted a little bit more because it's difficult to draft while you're streaming. Obviously, like with a guest, like if we had the time to sit here and go through it, it'd be easier. So that's got like a little bit more weight to it. I mean, like Josh Allen and where we got him was great. Bryce Young, totally fine with the value there for like the high floor player. I really like our RB room. Like if I think more about this team and the fact that it's best ball, half PPR, I feel like we have a lot of good high upside touchdown players. Like I said, we have a lot of the great like goal line backs. We have some explosive backs. We have good handcuffs. And if you look at our wide receiver room, like T. Higgins, Rome Odunze, Carnell Tate, Romeo Doubs, even Jacoby Myers, like those are great red zone targets. Josh Downs finally emerges on that outside role, and then Darnold
should be the one. Yeah,
he's the wide receiver too. And then I mean, same thing with the tight end room. I think we got a nice little diverse group of 3 right here. Goddard, reliable. Njoku, high upside, potentially a couple weeks here, and then Dolchich, kind of that little mystery box. Who knows what's going to happen? But I do think it's a solid team from top to bottom. I obviously the 2 QBs, it's always a little bit risky, but I think if it, you make the
investment.
You make it to the dance, and then anything could happen. But yeah, no, I do think it's a solid team. I think it's pretty impressive for first like live stream best ball team. For me.
I think it's probably like one of my top 5 favorite teams right now. I'm going to be honest with you. Like like you said, like it's just there's not really a weak point. If you kind of look through it, and that's I will say I'm typically just if I get a Josh Allen or a Lamar or even as far as like getting like a Joe Burrow, like I'm only probably going to go to 2 quarterbacks. I'm kind of the same way with tight end. Like those onesie positions, if I get a guy in the first like 3 or 4 rounds, I'm not allocating any more capital more than I have to. You know what I mean? Like you're banking on those guys where you're taking them to carry your team. Especially at, like I said, a onesie position. So yeah, I'm totally fine with the 2 quarterbacks. Like you said, get the Bryce Young there. Hopefully he has a 30, 40, 35-point game like he did against, I forgot who it was, where he threw for like 300-something yards, had like 3 touchdowns. I can't remember what team he played last year, but he did that in some random week.
He always has 1 or 2 of those a season.
Exactly. It's like Rodgers,
Yeah,
kind of similar situations there. Yeah. But I'm with you on this running back room. Like these first 3 guys, like we can pretty much count on those guys to be every week starters. They're going to get you all the, the touches. Their floors are excellent. Obviously, Chuba's a little questionable, but again, I'm a Chuba bull, so I'm pretty much in the camp that I think he gets a lot of work. And then, like you said, like you want to get those guys that are like rocket ships. Lloyd and Keaton Mitchell are those guys that kind of fit that mold. And then Tank Bigsby with the the contingency upside that he brings with Saquon being a little older. And just the reports that we've already gotten about Tank is like, oh, he's going to mix in a lot more this year. So he could have a little bit of standalone value. He could potentially hit your lineups more than you think.
Yeah.
And then the wide receiver room, I mean, I think we kind of threw a lot at it. Like I feel like we needed to catch up a little bit there.
Yeah.
But like T. Higgins, great offense. He's going to absolutely have his weeks. Rome Odunze, great offense, absolutely going to have his weeks. Carnell Tate, mediocre offense, but could be the one easily. Same thing with kind of Josh Downs. Like we don't know how that offense is going to look, but we saw what it looked like, when Danny Downs was healthy to start last year. Now, like I said, Alec Pierce might not be might not be ready to go to start the season. Josh Downs could easily be that early number 1 guy. Dobbs, I think with him playing more of that slot, like the Diggs role from last year, I think a lot of people don't think about that. Like Diggs had a really good year. I get it that it was Booty on the outside playing the X. Now it's AJ Brown, but I think that more teams will want to put obviously their best guys on AJ Brown now. So Romeo Doubs could easily turn out to be a fantastic pick there.
Yeah.
Jacoby Myers again, just a staple guy, and then Mooney, like you said, he's going to see the field. And then our tight end room. I like Goddard too. I don't have just a ton because he's going in that certain range, like I said, with like Likely, Chig, those guys. But don't dislike the guy by any means. Like I think he'll have probably 6 to 7, hopefully more touchdowns. I mean, I think he's going to be one of those 600 to 700 yard guys and have probably 6, 7 touchdowns. So Dulcich, like we mentioned, somebody's got to catch the ball for Miami. Obviously, already getting great reports, and then Njoku, like I said, I think he's just a red zone guy. So I'm going to give it an 8, man. The more I read over it, the more I looked over it, I'm like, it's a solid 8 for me.
Yeah. The one tough thing for me, too, is like drafting with the intention of you're really only making money if you advance in the playoffs.
Sure.
So, like, those 2 tight end or 2 QB builds make a lot of sense. I find myself doing 3 QBs unnecessarily a lot, and it's like you don't really like advance rates probably don't matter as much as you think. You need to hit those home run builds where you have 2 higher end QBs that can perform. So, I'd agree with Nate. Honestly, as you talk through it a couple times, I'm like, all right, there's pretty much nothing to dislike.
Solid, man. It's a very solid. Yeah, it's a very solid. And like to that point that you just made, like I'm one of those guys that would rather have 50 lineups that have a potential of getting in the top 5 than having 200 lineups that have the potential of just making the finals. Like I'm going to take that gamble all day, every day. Like I want to go for it. If you're playing this game, you should be trying to get the ultimate 1% outcome. That's what you're playing for, right?
Yeah.
Like I can't stand that advance rate talk a lot of times whenever they're like, oh, well, I just want to make sure I get that. You do want to advance. I get that. But like, if you just advance and you make your $35 back, $35 back, whatever it is, what is it? I mean, you're just like setting yourself up for disappointment. Like I'm going to shoot for the stars. Each time I draft, I'm going for that 1% outcome. So that is why I do definitely do a lot of 2 quarterback builds like that. Because a lot of these standard safety is like guys wanting to get 3 quarterbacks, 3 tight ends, get your 6 running backs, get your 7 to 8 wide receivers. So yeah, going against that grain a little bit, I think is definitely something I try to emphasize on. Obviously, I do a lot of builds with that too, but whenever you got a portfolio of 1,000 drafts, like I mean, you
start doing some funky things at that point. I mean, I've gotten like the $5 drafts too. I mean, there's $3 drafts, $1 drafts. I've done things where I've gone like 2, 7, 5, 4. Like I don't know. I just
get the 7, 8 running back look. Just like when do the 0 running back.
Yeah.
Just pile on the running back.
Advances, you can be like, look, I didn't follow the the normal rules, and this team still advanced. I think that's what I like about it is you don't really know what build is going to make it before the season, so just kind of keep it fresh each time. Try something different. Go against the grain. Zig when people are zagging, and it might work out more often than you'd think.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, when you're playing, especially like BBM, like I said, man, you're playing in a 600, how many 600, 700,000 person contest. Like you're just drafting your same regular standard style. You're not trying hard enough. Like that's just all there is to it.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, man. Kyle, man, excellent stream, dude. You were a joy. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. We're gonna definitely have to do it again.
Yeah.
But, so I've got Kyle's Twitter handle down there. So you guys go follow him. Obviously, pop him up, give him that follow. I didn't give you a chance to talk about the piece, so I do want to get just a quick brief. I read it, so it's fantastic. But without giving everybody all of the meat and potatoes of it, just give us exactly what you did there and why people should read it.
Yeah, absolutely. And first off, it's free. So you don't need like any sort of subscription or anything. But I mean, the whole mindset of it is like just trying to figure out what exactly makes a league winning running back. What are you seeing from the production? Like what contributes to that high upside player? So I took a look at all the running backs for the last 5 years and broke it down into 3 things, receiving upside, pass catching, and then you have explosive run rate, and then you have the goal line roll. Those are the big 3. That contributes to like 72% of like the top 6 RBs, all of their production.
Right.
So I just went through, did a lot of like little data analysis things, but pretty much determined that receiving upside, especially in PPR leagues, is the most important. You still want those other 2 things, but this is what you should be focusing on and thinking about when, for example, you're in the second round, you have 8 running backs stacked up against each other. They all look fantastic, but you got to chase the upside. Go to the guy with the avenue to the high receiving upside, the goal line roll, and of course, who's explosive. And then I talk about 8 of those running backs, just the ones that I thought were super polarizing that, on Twitter the last couple months, people have kind of gone back and forth with ranking them. Once again, we're looking at that second round in best ball. It happens every time, which guy do you like more? And then in redraft, you really only get, a couple shots. Everyone's in, I don't know how many redraft leagues you're in, but I know a lot of people aren't in 10 plus leagues. So you got to make the right call. So then the rest of the article, I discuss Chase Brown, Ashton Genty, Amarian Hampton, Kenneth Walker, Cam Scattaboo, Brees, Devon Achane, and Saquon. And I just go through those 3 avenues, who has the most upside, who you should draft over the other person, and who's the best value at cost. And then hopefully, this exercise I can continue using year to year.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm predicting the league winners on a semi-consistent basis. But that was kind of the entire goal with this article. So I'm hoping that it hits, and a lot of the analysis I did paid off, but we'll see. Anything could happen. He usually does.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I've seen it getting tons of love, on Twitter. So again, it is fantastic, man. Great work on that.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you view this, if you're viewing now, if you view it afterwards, I highly recommend, one, go follow Kyle, and then two, go read it, just digest it. It's good stuff. Kyle, anything else that you want to tell anybody? You got anything coming up? Anything that you want to tell the people before we wrap this thing up?
It's actually interesting. I was thinking of obviously the best ball streams is something that I'm doing that's kind of new. I like this. I mean, that went by shockingly fast, to be completely honest. We've been at this for 55 minutes and it feels like it's been 10 or 15.
Right.
So I'm definitely down to start doing this again. I like kind of the format of going back and forth on players. That's a lot of fun. And I think best ball is something that I'll kind of like we were talking about earlier. It's kind of scary addicting. I don't know how else to describe it, but
you're still in your infancy and you've already got day drafts.
I'm worried if I somehow win big or whatever you want to call it, I'm worried that's gonna cause
it's gonna ignite the beast even more. I get it. Like when you get your first little taste of, and you get that bankroll, and you're like, okay, well, there's next year.
That's what I was gonna ask. When you win, you're just like, all right, I have this saved away now, and I can just use that, and it's basically like you're playing with house money, which. It is crazy to think about.
I tell my wife every year, I'm like, well, this is just like our, because the playoff weeks happen right after Christmas too, and I'm like, see, this is just like a savings account. It's just like I just put the money in there. It's like an escrow, and then hopefully it grows a little bit, and she doesn't like it so much, but
no, I get that.
That's what it is. And then all this, you get through the December, and then bam, into January, contest start again, and it's like repeat, rinse and repeat. It's jump right back in. Get right back to drafting. So, yeah, it's the ultimate. That's why I've tried to push it. I don't try to push people too hard, but I've tried to grow it. Best ball is fun, man. It's easily my favorite way to play really anything now. I still play a little DFS at times, but best ball is definitely my number one thing. But you guys go follow Kyle. Go read his article. Go follow all of his stuff. Like I said, man, I do appreciate the level of detail and emphasis that you put into your post too, because you really break it down. I wish it's good. It's good stuff. You guys go follow him, and appreciate you, Kyle. Let's go wrap it up. Episode number 41 of Extend the Drive Best Ball Live. I'm Sean Mitchell with Kyle, and we are out. Enjoy the Hall of Fame game. It should be starting up here in just a few minutes. So enjoy the football is back, baby. And we're out. Thanks everyone for viewing. We'll see you next time.
Have a good one.